There we go. It has been 2 weeks because there was a break week, I guess. So it's time to get back into reading the most recent chapter of One Piece. So, bit of a few channel updates since this video is going to be quickly uploaded to YouTube. So these are usually the videos I tend to put a lot of the updates in for the channel. So this week is the version 6.7 update week for Genshin Impact, so I will be doing 2 big streams this week related to that, one of which has been announced at several videos on the channel, which is I'm going to be doing a big reaction live stream where I react to all of the Luna trailers for characters and teasers, because I haven't watched pretty much all of them. I think I watched Varka's and that's it. But beyond that, the other reason I'm going to be doing that is just because it is also the last Luna patch. We're going into Snezhnaya on August 12th, I hear. So, look forward to that. And also, I'm going to squeeze in an event pull stream, I guess, for Cyrene at some point this week or this coming weekend. It depends on whenever I have time for that, because I have a big editing backlog. And by the way, the big editing backlog I have right now is a 7-hour edited video that I have to process and skim through, because I spent the last 2 live streams reading a book on stream about the Shadowverse lore for one of the sets that came out 2 months ago. Or April 28th. So yeah, like 2 months ago. So yeah, if you want to watch that live stream, the VOD is out there. You can go watch that if you sub to me on Twitch. But for those of you on YouTube, that's going to be on YouTube. I planned on having it out by tomorrow, but unfortunately, it's just too big of a video file. It's going to not process very quickly, and I want to skim through and cut out as many pauses in between, like me stopping to get water and stuff, because it's just 7 hours, and I'm going to have to process a lot of stuff in that, and it's going to be a little bit... At least in 3 or 4 days, you can expect that. It's going to come out this week for sure. It's just not going to be out on the day I plan to have it out. Lastly. No, I think that covers everything, actually. There is no lastly. Lastly, I guess I should say go join my Discord if you haven't yet, because that's where I let people know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. It's how you know when I'm going live. It's also how you can contact me should you need to, because I'm sure somebody knows my email. It's probably out there on some website somewhere. It's probably not exactly private. I have like 3 or 4 emails, only 2 of which I even checked relatively recently. But that's neither here nor there. So I think we managed to get through all that in a pretty decent amount of time. So let's just get into the chapter proper at this point, so that I can move on to getting to other things and getting this video out on YouTube as soon as possible. So, today we're reading chapter 1186, One More Time, which always, whenever I hear this, it makes me think of that announcer from Skullgirls going, "One more once," which I'm assuming is short for One More Once Upon a Time. And it looks like we have another reader request for the art, so I'm not going to dwell on it too much because it's not going to matter. But it is Loki drawing his mommy, and it's drawing Ida, which is cute. And now that we have this cute and thing out of the way, let's go to the depressing backstory that is Brook's backstory, because from what I remember where we left off, King Levin was just killed, and we have Batform, Gunko, Shuri, whatever's going on there. Ooh, and then there's the smoking guy that's probably a Holy Knight, who we don't know who that is. I wonder if my theory will be proven correctly and that guy is going to be like a previous user of Smoker's Fruit. Alright. Let's go to pages 2 and 3. Alright, the black-bordered flashbacks. Alright, the troops are saying never to give up. Our only path to survival is independence. And Brook is freaking out. Okay, that sounds normal. I didn't react to this or all that much, but there's a shadowy figure that looks like a bird that a lot of people think is Marcus Mars. I kind of wasn't paying attention to it in my last chapter read through, but now that I see it, and now that I see that it's getting a panel dedicated just to it, it makes a lot more sense that this probably is Marcus Mars. Hang in there, bro. You're gonna be okay. Oh, he's dead, Brooke. Alright, bro. You a fan of mine, old man? Hey, I'm not that old. I guess I'll call you bro instead. And then we're just getting a flashback into a flashback, which means that half of page 3 is now wasted material because it's stuff that I read like 3 weeks ago. Okay. It is a little bit of a refresher, so it is nice in the context of I'm now reading this weeks apart. But if I were binge reading this at some point in the future, or like when I reread this is just going to be stuff I skip because there's nothing new effectively on this page. So with that, we're going to move quickly on to pages 4 and 5. Brooke is distraught. Brooke is crying. Didn't anyone hear me call for a damn medic? Oh, I think we see Emu's shadow coming up from behind now. I don't see them in the room, but I see them in this. They're getting in a side panel here for some reason. This was an inconvenient time. Slam. This was an inconvenient time for an interruption. Brooke, that man is already dead. Oh, we're gonna finally address the smoking guy in the corner now, huh? Who are you? What have you done with Princess Shuri? I've been watching over this girl since she was a newborn baby. I know she's not capable of this kind of bloodshed. I know everything about the princess. But Brooke, did you know that I was a celestial dragon? Oh. Are we gonna get the Manmeyer family lineage explained now? Did you know that this man is not my real father? Oh my god, they were actually going that angle? I saw some theories circulating about this online over the last couple weeks, that Candel's struggles with the celestial dragon that washed up on shore led to her becoming, let's just say, non-consensually pregnant. I disregarded those theories, but we're actually going that route because I sometimes forget One Piece is a lot darker than I remember it is. I mean, if I had a nickel for every time that a genocide happened in One Piece, I'd have 7 nickels. Which, whenever I bring that up, I have to always point out, why the fuck do I have 7 nickels? What are you talking about? You're King Reuven's legitimate daughter and her heir, of course. Where's the proof? Proof that you... Proof? You don't need proof between parents and their children. Why are you saying that? Yes, you do. It would have made a huge difference in my life if I've now wasted. 16 years could have been spent as a celestial dragon. Do you understand how angry I am? Okay, this is kind of weird. This is a huge personality shift for Shuri. There's got to be some sort of brainwashing or memory alteration at play here. They demanded 1,000 slaves? Wrong. That was because this wretch refused to hand me over. Don't call him that. He's a terrible king who let his people die for nothing. Okay, so there's definitely some memory alteration going on here. Because, like, her personality is completely 180'd. I guess the obvious answer is, like, maybe Dami Reversi type stuff is happening here. So if Gunko dies, is Gunko going to turn back into Princess Shuri? Just like all the other people that got Dami Reversi'd? And will she go back to, like, how she was when she was... She's, like, 15 right now, right? If I remember correctly? Well, let's stop speculating and just move on to pages 6 and 7. Well, I see an Oda box. This is indeed the smoking man is Saint Manmeyer Guro. Guro. And is a Knights of God, so he is one of the Holy Knights. That's why he had me pay the price. If the king dies, the war is over. But if we lose, then this country becomes a lawless wasteland. That doesn't matter to me anymore. Jeez, Shuri. I remember you, Candel Squire. The boy with the poofy hair. Oh, he's got heterochromia. Interesting. Actually, looking back on the earlier pages, Shuri doesn't have heterochromia in any of these first 5 pages. She still doesn't. Not that you were ever allowed to get close to me. Your eyes. Normally I wouldn't come to a backwater like this to recover a single measly whelp. But her bipolar irises are an extremely rare trait, and the Great One desires her. While it may not have awakened for me, perhaps she can. Oh, thou speakest too much, Guro. Oh, my apologies, Great One. Make it quick, Shuri. Huh? So maybe the heterochromia is a requirement for someone to be used as a vessel for some reason? Why is it so valuable? Bipolar irises. Because they have heterochromia. Okay, that look on Brooke's face is really disturbing. So I guess we're going to have to start moving along then. So moving on to pages 8 and 9, I'm really curious where this is going. It's actually going at a decent pace. Probably because there's no fighting happening. This can't be real. I must be dreaming. I changed your diapers. Oh, God. I know everything about you, Princess Shuri. Don't act like I owe you anything. And stop that pathetic sniveling. I want the protection of people stronger than you. And if I get to go to the Holy Land, then I no longer have any need of you. That's fucked. Oh, that's so mean. You were always a perfect little angel. But now look at you. You look more like a devil. Gavote? That must be an attack name. I failed to protect my bro, the man who saved my life. So, Gavotte, Bond, and Avant. And Brooke's gotten stabbed through what looks like the head, but we're only seeing it from behind in a silhouette, so it could just be through his afro. Oh, cows and frogs and slaves and kings, we're all bones when we die. We're all bones in the end, that's all there is to say. I'm really curious when the anime gets this far how this song is actually going to be performed. Or if they'll add any verses to it and like fully flesh it out. And it looks like they're leaving. So that's an impaled head on Brooke. But we know that Brooke lives through this, so it's like I'm not super worried. It's just a cool looking image and a cool looking graphic. Alright, now we're on pages 10 and 11. Oh, we're cutting ahead. Captain Brooke, he's awake. Oh, it's a miracle. I've never seen anyone survive with a sword stuck through their head. You know, actually, I have seen someone who survived with a sword stuck through her head because that's what's going on with Yarul over on Elbaph in the present day. He got sword skewered through the head via Herald. Well, Brooke is a durable guy, I guess. He really did get stabbed through the head. I thought it might have just been through the afro, and they were making it look like it went through his head. The sword somehow managed to avoid all the major arteries, and even your brainstem. And where's the king? He cut off the text box of the doctor, so I can't even read it. I think he's about to say that, so the damage is minimal, though. I don't know how much I remember, Captain. I don't know how much you remember, Captain. Look, we shouldn't tell him too much. That might rattle him. No, tell me the truth. We lost, Captain. The king's death sealed it. Someone witnessed Princess Shuri being put onto a government ship. Many civilians have already fled the country, but the country will take in all refugees. And now he's just screaming. Oh, he's bleeding again. Hold still. That's probably the thumbnail right there. That's an image we're saving for the thumbnail. That was indeed a horrific image. Oda sure does do a good job of drawing ugly cry. Alrighty, page 12 and 13. Oh my god, I see a skeleton brook. Are we back in the present? Back then, I didn't even know about the existence of devil fruits. I always thought that I had hallucinated what happened. Such was the shock I suffered when seeing my savior dead on the ground. For the terror I felt at the changed princess, her new demonic visage. If those were not illusions but real memories, my friends, do you think it would be alright if I had faith in Princess Shuri just one more time? Wow, look at all the reactions he's getting there. Frankie's about to ugly cry himself, which is what I love about Frankie. He's so emotionally unstable. He's got too much empathy. Alright. If she happens to be a victim in all this, run, Brooke. Because I'm Papa and Mata's daughter. Yep, we're seeing flashbacks. I want to save Princess Shuri. I ask for your help in achieving this goal. Alright. Everyone has been informed on what Brooke's full backstory is. Well, I guess everyone who's here, which is basically Jinbei, Usopp, Nami, and Frankie. So I guess they're all in the know now. Also, Usopp, you're looking pretty healthy for someone who was, like, nearly dead, like, a few chapters before this flashback started. Also, shouldn't Sanji be here still, like, on the ground? No, wait, he went and chased after, what was it? Killingham. Alright, so that's pages 12 and 13. I guess we've got to continue on. Are we going to get everybody's responses to that claim? Jinbei. Did you really need to ask? Let's hurry up and break that block of ice. Maybe lightning will work. I'll use my radical beam and melt it in one go. And Usopp freaking out. I don't think we should use explosives. What can I do to help? Usopp being very rational. Brooke's speeding off already. Wait up, Brooke. Oh, God. Cafeteria, Walrus School. Oh, I guess Luffy's still eating. I forgot that Luffy's been eating all this time while all this was going down. That bad news guy is Elbaph's enemy, right? Then that means he's my enemy. And I'm overflowing with strength right now. I can't see anyone beating me. I guess Luffy's about to... So I guess Loki's little stint against Emu is about to come to a close. And we're about to resume Luffy and Loki versus Emu. Unless Loki's going to tag out here, I guess. Quit going after the kids. You world government folks sure fight dirty. Dost thou know why? I shall teach thee. 800 years ago, thy kind suffered defeat in order to save thy children. Oh. So the giants lost. I'm guessing this is either going to be why the Galli-Ra people or the frozen giants on Punk Hazard are there. I guess they got captured in order to save kids. I guess is what he's about to tell us. Alright, pages 16 and 17. Let's go. What do you mean 800 years ago? The nature of a race does not change in mere centuries. Well, no shit. Simply abduct thy children, and I can control thee at will. Thou might not know what is happening to thee, but history repeats itself regardless. It is already too late, and thou art my slaves. The hell is he talking about? You get out. of Elbaph right now. Luffy just rocks him across the jaw. He's done. Well, that's the end of the chapter. So I think this was a fun read. I feel it's a little bit on the shorter side. I would have liked to have at least like maybe 2 more pages, personally. These big panel spreads of like big impacts, like Luffy punching somebody, are really pretty to look at, but I like having a lot more to read about. And the fact that we wasted half a page on pages like, what was it? Page 2 and 3. We wasted half of page 3 just to show images from like 2 chapters ago. So that was a little bit of a bummer. So this could have been at least 1 page longer, and we could have fit a lot more into the chapter. But I think it is very interesting. I'm going to have to go back and look at previous chapters, because I only noticed in this chapter that, I guess it would only been 1 chapter before this. But yeah, Shuri doesn't have heterochromia in this chapter. Every time we see her on screen, she has just plain, like, solid white eyes. But this guy here, Saint Manmeyer Guro, he has heterochromia. I wonder if it is true that he's actually Shuri's father. I kind of want to believe that it's not true, and that she just has a rare eye trait, and that he's going to adopt her into her family because of that. I'd also have to go back to the timeline, because I never looked into the timeline of the whole Candle and the Holy Knight thing to see if that they are actually related. Because, like, the Holy Knight, or if this was the... I guess he did kind of confirm that he was the Holy Knight that washed up a while ago on the island. Because he remembers Brook. And we did not get confirmation that he has smoke powers. We do see Emu's shadow for a little bit. The giant flame bird is not confirmed to be Marcus Mars, but it might as well be confirmed since we know what Mars looks like in their weird bird form. Ugly Clyde Brook. He actually did get stabbed in the head, and he also lived through getting stabbed in the head. I wonder how much of the past that Gunko actually remembers now, because it was very clear that they don't remember a lot, and they've been suffering from a lot of what seems to be memory alteration. And Gunko actually does participate in, I believe, the fight on God Valley shortly after this, if I remember correctly. Or maybe I'm misremembering. Do they end up being the person in the flower room that's like the servant of Emu as well? I think that's correct. Emu also did give us a little bit of tidbits from 800 years ago as well. That's kind of interesting. That apparently the giants were defeated in the past via kidnapping children. So, it seems their plan to kidnap the children to make the giants their slaves is the only strategy they have because it worked one time in the past. Yeah, it's like, sure, it worked that one time, but you still gotta pull it off. And those kids may be captured right now, but you haven't safely gotten them into your control. All we gotta do is, like, knock out Killingham and or his sleep tid, and the kids are safe again. We could also just blow up the ship that Sommers has, and you guys have no way of really getting the kids reliably out of here. And then if you kill all the kids, what then? If this is the dark thing. If you kill all the kids, now you don't have hostages. So this is a fun thing about negotiating and hostage taking. Hostage taking is a terrible strategy that primarily only works in situations like with bank robbery, where you can trade safety for safety. If you end up in a position like this, where you're trying to kidnap people to have hostages, if you don't successfully kidnap them, you don't have hostages. And then if you kill all of them, you still don't have hostages. So the whole strategy just falls apart. Yeah. Emu does not seem to be a very intelligent person. And I think it might just be a byproduct of them being too old. When you end up being too old, and you start to see history on the time span of centuries and not the time span of like years, you're not going to think too deeply about how the times might change. Like, the nature of a race does not change in mere centuries. I would argue it does. Like, the English language isn't even the same English language that it was like 100 years ago. We used to use terms like muckracker, goldbricker, and hogwaggler. We don't use terms like that anymore. Kids these days say bussin' and riz. It's weird. The times change, the way strategy is evolving is really weird. Actually, good real-world example is what was going on in the Iran war at the Strait of Hormuz in real life. There used to be this idea of supreme naval doctrine over the last couple hundred years, where if you had a strong military navy, you could basically dominate in the ocean and whatnot. However, drones have now changed the game. Now, instead of having to need this huge navy in order to control shipping lanes, you could just find a place like the Strait of Hormuz where you only need to control this one little section of the main trade lane, and for like a $10,000 drone, you can sink billions and billions of dollars of Navy ships. Or threaten to. And you can halt entire global trade for like $10,000. It's ridiculous. You can cause billions and billions of dollars of damages with such little investment. We have now basically left the era of naval doctrine and entered the era of drone doctrine. And that's something that's only happened in the span of like 10, 20 years. It wasn't even a slow transition. Drones basically started becoming the dominant force in like the Russia-Ukraine war, and now we have the Iran war, and it's like, drones are king now. Warfare with people fighting people might be obsolete soon. And it hasn't even been a century yet. We're seeing stuff happen in the span of a decade, let alone the span of centuries. I think Emu is very much in the wrong here. He's kind of unk now. Emu is unk. I want to see that spread. Well, since the chapter ended with Emu with Unk getting punched in the face, I guess that's going to be where we end here. This has been a fun read-through, and I even got to wax philosophical and wax political, and even share a little bit of military history and recent history, so this was a fun chapter for me. Emu is a dumbass. Emu is Unk. I'll see you all next week, if it's not another break week. And just again, as a reminder, as part of this outro, I do have a Discord. Once again, it'll let you know what I'm doing and when I'm doing it. The next big stream that will be happening will be that React live stream to Sandrone's trailer, which I'm going to check in another tab right now. Is not out yet. So, that's a trailer. When that trailer drops, we're going to do basically, there's what, like 9 versions, so like 10 or so characters. So we're going to watch basically like 20 trailers. It's going to probably be a 2-hour ordeal, but it's going to be not very much edited. Or maybe I should just edit it. I'm not entirely sure. I could do the lazy thing and just put it out put the VOD on YouTube. It depends. If people want to edit it or not, I'll at least put chapters on it. Well, anywho, that's enough out of me. I will see you all in the next stream, in the next video, and keep an eye out. There's going to be a 7-hour video dropping of me reading a book. So if you want some good audiobook ASMR, look forward to that. Happy 1-year anniversary for Shadowverse Worlds Beyond. Happy 10-year anniversary for Shadowverse Classic. Shadowverse Classic, at the time of this video going up on YouTube, will have been closed and shut down on the 30th of June. So, 2026, 30th of June, Shadowverse Classic will be gone. My playthrough of the entire story of Shadowverse Classic will remain on the channel long term. So if you want to see that, go see that. I also even recorded a secret ending to the story recently, and it is in that playlist. And the read-through of the Shadowverse Anathema's Gambit light novel, effectively, will also be in that playlist. So, stay safe out there. I will see you all in the next stream.